don't know what just happened, but hello, welcome to Leave Taken. I um I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now. Um Technology. Retrograde is almost done, right? It is almost done. Ooh, my lashes hitting my glasses, but I needed to see, so I'm glad I put my glasses on because I can't see. Anyway, hello, hello. This is Mika here at Leap Taken. Welcome. This is my witchy review. Hopefully, this translates and people come over here. Technology. That's all I got. I don't know what's happening, but anywho, I'm here. So today I want to talk about this book called The Forgotten Witch. This is by Jessica Dodge. I'm gonna just be straight with you. I enjoyed the heck out of this book. It was juicy. It had a lot of witchcraft in it. And it's fiction. When I read fiction, specifically about witchcraft, which is usually what I'm reading about, I like it when you can immerse me enough where I'm like believing it. Like I can work with these spells. I think these spells make sense. So this is definitely one of those books that gives that type of energy. When you're reading it, you really believe like, oh, okay, I might be able to cast that spell, or it's believable. Like you really believe that that character can really do that work. Um, Oh, YouTube crashed. I was on my mobile device trying to figure out what the heck is going on, why this just crashed like this. So I just got an alert. YouTube crashed. I've never had that happen. Y'all have been here for live. That's never happened before. But anywho, let me get into this book. Let me get into this review. Um, First of all, the writer is excellent. So the book takes place majority in Scotland. So there's a character in the book, and don't you love a book where there's a map? And they're talking about ley lines, so it's like hitting all the right notes for me. Um, it's a really, really good book. So essentially, this book, let me try to get to, I want to get to Helen. Forgot the woman's name. So Helen is the main character in the book. She is the protagonist, and Helen um, has this impulsive decision to purchase a house in another country. She doesn't know why. She just feels this incredible urge to do it. It came up for auction. Now, let's just start right here. I am the type of person who, when I see, like, I don't do this often, but I do. Sometimes you ever look in other countries to see what their home prices are going for, like a place like Scotland or Ireland or something like that. And I know that I saw probably between Instagram and TikTok somebody talking about I think it's Ireland specifically, like these remote islands, they're selling property, they're selling homes, and they're giving money to people who want to buy them to build up these houses, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm one of those people. I'll go look and see like what are the houses looking like. Well, can I afford it? Is this doable? Now, I've not obviously pulled the trigger and actually purchased the house over there, but like I get that. I get that far into the process and I'm willing to actually potentially buy a house in another country, except this is a work of fiction, and she actually purchases the house. She actually does it. She immediately regrets it. It's not like, oh, I'm destined to do this and I really want this and this just makes perfect sense. No, this is more like a thing where she's like, what have I done? I've ruined my life. What am I going to tell my parents? What am I going to tell the people that I love and care for? How my best friend that I have in my life, like, what am I going to do about that? And she does have a best friend. I'm gonna give you a spoiler. Her best friend in her existing life, I really thought that was like the prelude to something else. I thought he had more of a, I don't know. I thought he was the way they wrote him. I just thought he was like really gonna be like an undercover agent, like to part of her life or something. But I was wrong. Anyway, I was really wrong about that. I'm gonna tell you that now. That's my only. Well, I'll try to keep my spoilers down. So anyway, Helen makes this purchase. And, when you purchase a home in another foreign land, you might want to go check it out. You might want to go see. So she immediately tried to reverse the sale of the property, and that didn't work. So she had to go you know, to the house to go see it, see what work needed to be done so that she could resell it. So that was her whole intention. Let me line these cameras up because I feel like I'm looking everywhere but the right way. Anyway, she says she wanted to, sell the house. So her intention was to sell the house and to be done with it. Basically a flip. That was what she thought she was going to do. So she gets to this foreign land that she's never been to. She gets to the house, and it does need some work, but for the most part, it's livable. It's dusty, and she immediately gets there, and there's an animal in the house. Well, there's evidence of animals at some point, but anyway, pests. But there's a dog, and that's its own story, and that melds into the past and all of that. But this is the type of book where you're going in and out of the past. You're in the present and in the future in this book. The author does a good job of switching between the times, and it happens quite often, but she does it in such a way that I don't get dizzy. There's a book that I love. I love the idea of the book. I love the book, and I love what I got from it, but I don't love every aspect of the book. And that's called The Black Candle. Something about the Black Candle, or I forgot the name of the book. I reviewed it on here. And what I took from that, I actually use the Black Candle all the time now from that. But anyway, and that's like a thing from like voodoo. But anyway, not voodoo. But in this book, this author, she to me, and that was a first time work by that other author, the Black Candle Lady, I think it was called. But this particular author, I think she does an excellent job of keeping you engaged, where you always know when you're in the present, when you're in the future. So it starts with the Helen. She is kind of having dreams, and she's having these moments of deja vu, and she's finding things, and she discovers she can practice magic. This is a nice departure from the idea of a witch coming into her own power, not knowing she's had this power. Her power has been binded at some point, or bound, I should say, at some point. It's not like, it is like that, but it has a nice twist on it, and I don't want to give it away because I really would encourage people to read this, because I think this is a really good book, especially coming into fall, coming into this like spooky season. I think this is a really good book to get into that. There's a bit of romance. It never gets too hot and heavy. A little bit hot, a little bit, but flirty. But we don't get like wild sex scenes. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So if you're looking for that, it's not that kind of book. But you get a little something, something. A little something, something. We grown, but it's not that grown. The one thing I love about the Helen character is she's a young woman who realizes that she's made this purchase. She realized she's kind of really stuck herself out there, and she doesn't really understand, but she know it was like a gut thing she had to do. Like something took over her. As time is going on, and the love interest is someone helping her, spoiler, repair the house, but that makes sense, right? That's usually how that goes. As time goes on, and she discovers more and more about who she is and her past, and this is one of those books that really kind of explores the past life and a spirit reincarnating. So if you kind of like that sort of stuff, this is really good. They throw in some stuff about like ley lines and all that sort of stuff, and that's really fun too. But one of the things that I really like is the magic, how the magic is presented in the book. So I have a couple things that I bookmarked because I really enjoy these things. So I want to tell y'all. So let me get to the one. So like it's some of the things that she used. So let me see. Let me get to that section. For safekeeping against the wicked. So this is a spell. This is a page. This is kind of early on in the book, like page 82, where she finds this. So you need to gather 4 jars of the same size. Place rice at the bottom of each jar. Then add salt from the sea. Now, I actually have some salt from the sea, so I could do this, but this is why this stood out to me. Atop of that, a bit of lavender and sage, check. Seal with wax and place in the 4 corners of your home. Recite this as you place your jars. The wicked who would do me harm, may he take the throat disease. Stay with me. Globularly, spirally, circularly, fluxy, pellety, horny, grim. Be it harder than stone, be it blacker than coal, be it swifter than the wind, be it heavier than lead, be it fiercer, sharper, harsher, more malignant than the hard, wound, quivering holly, be it sounder than the stain, lustrous, bitter salt, seven times. Hey, Dylan, like, okay, so this is like clearly some old stuff. Like, we don't usually use words like this. So, like, I like that now. And I would make some modifications on the words that I spoke, but I can mess with this. I think this is doable. I kind of like it. Hi there, Perskoff. And where's the other one I wanted to tell you all about? I highlighted. I want to make sure I got that. Talking about a love charm. She had fashioned a love charm that day that Tomas first took notice of me. And then she talks about like the love charm that was used. Let me see. Then she okay, so here it is. Mary had gathered a small cup. Don't worry about who Mary is. Mary had gathered a small cup of water from the well and dropped 2 stones in one light in color and one in dark. Then she recited a love charm passed down from her great grandmother over the cup, rubbing her thumbs around its edges 3 times. Then we both drank from it in hopes of finding our true loves. And, she talks about she took her first sip, and then boom, she meets this guy. Hey, hi, Gemstones. But yeah, like, it's got like that kind of, I don't want to say old-timey magic, which you would expect when we think of witchcraft, right? That's what people think, like these old ways. But like, this is occurring back in the 1500s, by the way, just so you know, this is what I mean by going back into the past. But this is kind of what I'm talking about. That sort of simple, very folksy type of magic. And I like that. I believe I practice some love. I think in a way, don't we all, if you're practicing, probably do some sort of folk magic, especially if it's more intuitive. It's already kind of folksy anyway, right? So I love this thing where she accidentally made a truth spell, or yeah, she enchanted food using kitchen magic. So she decides, I'm fast forwarding, but just listen to this spell because I want to talk about the spells in the book. So Helen, again, the protagonist, the main character, she wants to make something to eat. So the handyman, the guy that, he's a love interest, spoiler. He is there and she's like, hey, he had previously threw some food together and she's trying to return in kind. Like right now they're just, kind of flirty. They're being nice to each other. So she says she started to look through the spice. She does not cook. She started to look through the spice cupboard. There was no basil or oregano and most of the herbs she had never heard of before. Vervain, henbane, and aconite, just to name a few. So she decided on a pinch of lemongrass. First of all, this is with tomato sauce. I want you to think about this. Lemongrass, a dash of mint. I don't like mint in tomato sauce. A bit of ginger. I'm grossed out. And rosemary. The only spices in the cupboard she recognized. Truth be told, she was no cook, so this was a long shot. First of all, I don't like any of these things combined, and I don't want to eat them with tomato sauce. But stay with me. As she stirred the sauce, she thought about, now she's not doing this intentionally. As she stirred the sauce, she thought about how Connor, that's the handy guy, was unearthing feelings in her she had kept dormant. Her time here was now running short. It wouldn't be much longer before they had the cottage in a sellable condition. Remember, that's still her intention. And she would be heading back home, because back to America. So maybe a fling. So she's thinking basically, hey, maybe I could have a fling. Maybe this wouldn't be so bad. She didn't want to make a fool of herself. Like very real, very relatable. And, she's talking about it would make things a whole lot easier. And then maybe she could just shake this crush she was developing, move on. Like, she just have a little fling, a little something, something with him, a little physical interaction. And then she out, make her money and just erase this mistake that she thinks she's made. So They sit down, they eat the food, and today is a rough day. This is the 1 month anniversary of my mom dying. Oh, I'm so sorry, Dylan. So it's a relief to watch your live today. Thank you. I'm glad that I can be just a little bit of relief for about an hour for today. I seriously am, though. And I hope you're doing well. I hope your family's getting through this as best as y'all can, because I know everybody grieves differently, and what that looks like is going to be different for everybody. But I just hope that, you're doing the best that you can do, and so is the rest of your family. I'm sorry. Again, I really am. I don't know I don't know what that's going to be like, and I'm not looking forward to having to deal with that. And I know you're younger than me. So young, that's got to be hard. So my condolences again. I am so sorry. And I hope you get through this as best as you can, whatever that looks like for you. I don't like to impose. Hi, Kyle Clark. Okay, so she makes it, and I don't feel like I'm like jumping back into this, but I want to tell you. So they have this I love this scene in the book. So they have the food. So they sit down, they're eating the food. And she didn't realize it because she had found a spell book. She's just learning, though. It's kind of like, she's familiar with witchcraft and modern day witchcraft and paganism, but not enough to, like, she's never practiced. So so they start eating and they start telling the truth. So like she asked him a question, and he starts he starts really giving her some answers, like admitting how he feels. Anyway, so she, like, for instance, she says, I just wanted you to stick. So this is her talking. He was like, the food's really good. So they're eating it. They have their first couple bites. And she asked him how is it. He said, the food's really good. And then, she says, oh, thank you. And she says a little bit. And then I just wanted you to stay later, especially after seeing your chest earlier, because he wiped his face off with the bottom of his shirt. So he lifted his shirt up. And then she says, my God, you look like something Michelangelo carved from stone. So she put her hand over her mouth and she looked at him with wide eyes. Her cheeks are redder and than ripe tomatoes, they say. But anyway, so he says, oh, I did that on purpose. I wanted to see your reaction at the sight of my bare skin. You didn't disappoint me. Your blushing cheeks said it all. And she said he said it without missing a beat. And he looked shocked at what he said. Do you not really want this, though? Like, okay, let me tell you something. When I master some modicum of a truth spell where I can seriously cast it and go against someone's will, may the gods favor that on me to do that. When I do, I'm going to say when, because I'm going to have hopes that one day I can do this. I won't use it willy-nilly because sometimes I don't want to hear what you got to think about me. But for those who I want to know, man, a good truth spell, do you know what I can do with that? Listen, I already know people have ugly thoughts and think bad things and all that kind of stuff, but no, if I'm looking for a specific answer about something, or I want to know what really happened about something, the possibilities. And let me see what you said here. Thank you. The first 2 weeks wasn't too bad, but then it got busy, so it got pushed down. But today I'm planning on journaling and crying. Oh, okay. You said you're planning. You know what? That's something I would do. I kind of think like that. Like, no, I'll plan I would do something similar. Wait, what did you say, Kyle? Are you ready for Halloween? Freaking, I stay ready. If you're always ready, you don't have to get ready. No, I'm always ready for Halloween. Always. It's too hot to wear a hat. So I prop my hair up. So that's my thing. But anywho, so I'm just saying, like, the magic, it's wholesome. When I mean wholesome, I don't mean that like, oh, boring. Wholesome, like, it just, maybe the word, yeah, it is wholesome. But it also kind of feels like just, it's so natural the way the writer just includes the bit of magic where you're reading this book and you're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense that she all of a sudden has to do it. It doesn't feel like fantastical. It feels real. Like as Helen goes through each stage, And like I said, there's a bigger plot to this, like a much bigger plot. So we start off with this, like I said, young woman who's made a purchase. She's in Scotland. She has this old cottage. But first of all, I'm one of those people, I'm heavily influenced by locations if you write well enough. So I can't wait to go to Scotland. I can't wait to go. I've already wanted to go and visit these places, but I really want to go now. And I'm kind of even okay if it's like bitter cold and raining and all that. Like that'll be just part of the charm for me. I kind of like the idea of staying in somebody's, like Airbnb cottage or something like that. Um, I'm kind of in it. Last week I bought a small haul of Halloween decor, so hopefully I can decorate tomorrow. Yes, that's good. That's one of my favorite things about witchcraft and the way I practice is as a cottage witch is I like to decorate, and I don't understand why so many people are against that. Like if it's just not your thing, I get it, but sometimes don't you feel like people just like to be contrary? Oh, is it time to decorate for Halloween already? It was just summer. We're still in the middle of summer. Why are we decorating? Because we want to. I would love to live there in Scotland, right? Oh my God. When she write, like you're there. And as she describes like the weather patterns, spoiler, she finds out she could do a little weather magic. So that's pretty cool. And the way she does it is awesome. She does use tools, even though she has the ability of like kind of speaking just things and it happen, but she does still use tools as a witch, but that kind of comes in with the bigger plot. There are other witches, and like I said, this book starts in the fifth, like it doesn't start, but it dips back to the 1500s, and then again the 1600s, and it's just so interesting reading about that. So there's little bits of history, so you kind of as you're reading it, you'll remember some stuff from history class of like, oh wait, there was some crazy stuff happening around this time in Scotland, as the characters are having their own, there's this own plot going on during these different times. I kind of love when books can do okay, movies do that, TV shows, we know we can do that, but when in a book, I think it's a little bit more difficult because you're just reading and then boom, you're talking about a different character in a different time. Sometimes they'll italicize the words so oh, there's been a switch, or they just put the year and the name of the character from that point of view that you're now about to read the next section about. I like when books do that. It makes it a little easier and on the eyes, and for your brain to register, okay, we're doing something else now. Where about in Scotland would you go? I don't know. I need to discover Scotland. I don't even know. Honestly, I'd like to go to okay. So there's two minds. Whatever the big city is, I kind of want to know. Like if it was Ireland, I'd say, oh, I want to go to Dublin first, and then like that'll be my home base, and I'll venture out into the countrysides and stuff like that. I don't know what the big city is in Scotland, but in my head, I'm thinking, well, I would go there, and that'd be the first part of the visit, and then I would go out into the countryside, and I would have another little bit of adventure out there and have a different location. So I would have like multiple stays, hopefully that makes sense, because I want to experience. And I know that from at least from what I'm hearing about, from people on Instagram who travel and things like that, who look like me, they say when they go to these places, for the most part, they're treated, welcoming, you're not singled out and, hunted and hated. Edinburgh, yes. Oh, there used to be a mystery series that I read, and it was based in, is it Edinburgh or Edinburgh? Edinburgh or Edinburgh? I think it's Edinburgh, right? I've heard somebody say Edinburgh before. Anyway, so the same person who wrote the #1 Ladies Detective Agency, I think he is from Scotland. He used to, I cannot remember it, but I really used to like it. She was like a smart, like academic type person, and I know there was mysteries and she solved it, and I love that sort of stuff. We stand weather magic, yes. Thank you. Yeah, so that's the big city. So like I would go there first because I want to go there because I just want to have that experience, and then I would like go out to the countryside and maybe have another stay set up at like an Airbnb, a cottage, and I would stay there for a little bit. And oh my God, if it stormed, if it was one of those majestical, terrifying type storms that I read about, like in this book, where like the sky lights up, this lighting up like fireworks from just a bunch of lightning happening, something where you think is like supernatural going on. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that. That's the type of experience that I'm looking for. Now, I do know that she traveled at the end of summer in the book, and it was going into fall. At least that's what I'm getting. And they're talking about how the weather was changing over. I got into a fight with one of my online friends this week. She was gatekeeping, condemning you. Oh, virtue signaling, fear mongering, saying she was the victim, pushing her beliefs onto me, being dogmatic. Oh no, I'm sorry. She is now blocked and we are no longer friends. You know, once upon a time, I really thought, I was one of those people who would have thought, oh, well, people online are not your friends. I would have said that. Well, they're online, they're not your friends. When they're people, there's a keyboard. And sometimes, you know, it's like this too, but it's still a person on the other side. So now we can be friends. I've met a lot of people online. And relationships were built, and it's been years now online, and we're friends. But I used to really think like that. The sad thing is, I actually still know people who still very much think like that. Oh, you probably do too. They're the type of people who say to you, well, what you see online is, or what you see on social media is not real. People don't really live a certain way, or they're just showing you what they want to see. You don't know their real lives. No, there's not a camera walking around all the time where you get to see everything all the time. But just because you're a habitual liar and you're a hater doesn't mean that in real life people who are making content are just making the whole thing up, and they're lying, and they're always constantly doing some trick of the eye where it's, don't believe, like, you see these things here, this is real life, this is more fall decor stuff that I'm gonna set up over here, but I got sick and everything I was going to do I didn't do, so I'm gonna do it. Just have to get to it. But it's some fall stuff in there. I took some stuff that's already empty, and then I have to put it in storage in a garage, blah blah blah. But that's real life. This is very real. I'm finding I'm making probably more friends easier in online spaces, especially since I like niche stuff and like the K-pop thing and the witchcraft thing. I can make more friends online. And I have, when people, my daughter is experiencing this kind of sort of like, without giving her business away, like, so there's a friend she met online and this has happened before, and like they post things that are counter the stuff that she's into. They've not spread it to her and told her, but like, and she's just like, it's kind of hard to kind of still talk to you and hang out with you when you are saying things that are really opposing to my views and what I believe. And we've already had these conversations, and that stuff is rooted in some false stuff. Like, why are you reposting it? It kind of makes it tough, but it sounds like yours was a little bit more deeper. She was not open to opposing views. This all started from me saying that I got a refund from a herb shop in Greece when I ordered sunflower petals back in June. Oh my gosh, this is the simplest things. I think, well, one, Mercury is in retrograde, so a lot of things are misunderstood. Not saying that this is, one of those things, but I know quite a few people I personally know are dealing with just these conflicts based off of simple, what would have seemed any other time a simple conversation. It wasn't even a big deal. It wasn't anything anybody needed to be passionate about, but like relationships are like breaking apart because of this sort of stuff. Like, I know several people who are experiencing that right now, where things are just, their relationships, and they're not like even romantic, like friendships, familial relationships or whatever, just over what should have just been a simple conversation that never escalated into anything more. So it's definitely in the air. But back to this book. So The spells, y'all. It's the spells that I really, really like. Oh my God, I cannot tell you. I'm going to use some of this stuff. So then she goes on another one. She's, listen to this. Um, Life, death, rebirth. I bind all three. Past, present, future, as earth, sky, and sea. If taken by unearthly sin, let my soul be reborn again. Every time my soul is awoken, I will not stop till her spell is broken. So there's clearly something else going on in this book, and I don't want to give too much away. But this is a spell to make sure that you keep coming back in another life, in another body. But your spirit, you are still you though, but you just have a different vessel, and you're just reborn again and again until whatever it is. If there was a contingency on here, I will not stop till her spell is broken. So there's an antagonist, spoiler. And yeah, so there's, like I said, there is a deeper plot to this than just, oh, my name is Helen. I bought a house in Scotland on a whim. I instantly regretted it. And there's a hot handyman that's helping me fix up the house. And that's the end of the story. No, there is a deeper plot. I'm telling you, this is a good book. You said you love that. Yeah, so like, that is so this, like, it's a binding spell for your spirit. Isn't that deep? I like that. I like that it wasn't like the author just talked about it. Like, she gave us that. Oh my God. And there's so much symbols and just other little things. A lot of like I said, like folk magic, really getting into that type of magic, I guess, that would have been done in the 1500s, or at least from the author's perspective. I cannot express to you how much I love that part. And then, listen to this, another binding. I bind you, Margaret Atkin, from causing harm. Your magic is now bound with this charm. So let's say you want to, don't do that to people. I'm not advocating you to try to bind anyone's magic or anything. But anyway, yeah, that was the words that she used for the antagonist in this book. I don't know. I get a kick out of stuff like that. And then she like, oh my God, what was the other one I wanted to get into? I wanted to show, like, I highlighted these things. I was like, oh, this is good. Also, I highlighted it for me. So like some of the herbs that she used was like basil and dried chrysanthemum petals for warding off evil. So basil and chrysanthemum petals grounded up to ward off evil. She's making a lot of protection magic, so that's right up my alley. And this character is going to need it for all the stuff that's happening. Then listen, once the herbs were mixed, she added bits of cherry bark for invisibility and put the mixture inside of a black walnut shell. She added a thin layer of camphor oil around the rim to strengthen it. The final touch was a pinch of ash from the fireplace for luck. There was no need to read the spell. She knew it by heart. And then she goes on and she says these words. Cloak. So this is like if you want to cloak yourself. Cloak my magic, hearth and home. So your magic, your home, all that. Cloak this flesh down to the bone. Let no eyes see that wish me harm. Protect me with this ancient charm. With the power of 3, so mote it be. I like that. I never used a spell from a book, but I would. Sounds like the craft binding spell, right? Yeah, a little bit. But maybe this author is inspired. But I like this cloaking one. I think this can be used. So, I mean, honestly, just any place. If you're going someplace and you're not really liking the attention that you're getting, and maybe you need to revisit that place for whatever reason. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to go in spaces that aren't, safe. I can think of a host of reasons, depending on how you identify, how people see you or whatever, being a woman, being openly gay, being, if you are a person of color, Black person, and you're going into a space where it's predominantly no Black people, and it's mostly white. And unfortunately, some people, I live near places like that where they're not, I can tell they're not they just want me to come and do my business and leave. So a cloaking spell would be good. Like, I don't really want any eyes on me, or I might be up to, no good. And I don't want people to see what I'm doing. So cloak my magic, hearth and home. So you don't know where I live. You're not going to see me. You're not going to know nothing about me. Cloak this flesh down to the bone, down to my bone. You won't even get my scent, residual, nothing. Let no eyes see that wish me harm. So if I'm going up to if I'm going someplace and I'm trying to conduct some business, that person that I need to talk to, they can see me, they'll deal with me, but they don't mean me harm. But for anybody else who's in my business, let's say you go into the bank and you taking out a lot of money, you want to cloak, you don't know what's going to happen. Protect me with this ancient charm. Love that. With the power of 3, definitely something I would say. So mote it be. I love this. I thought just somebody. Oh no, it's just moving. Oop. I love this. I love this spell. I could work, like, this could be made into something. Today, I will make this into something. I can tell you that right now. I like this a lot. But yeah, she is, like I said, the author of this book, to me, really, like, she did so good on, to me, capturing, like, real magic. And, like, when she was going through a book and she wanted to find something, listen to this: a search for something I must find, open up the space of time, bring the pages unto me by powers of the wind and sea. By the way, this cottage is on some water, so that makes sense for her to say that. But if you were trying to find some knowledge about a specific topic, let's say, like for me, I know I'm working on some things specifically in the protective magic arena, but I wanted to kind of get a little bit more specific. And I know I have books, I have my own journals, but me being me, I don't know where everything is. I was like, which book is it in? Which journal? Which grimoire? Which book of shadows? Because I have several. So I could say something like that. Now, I might modify and say by the powers of wind and sea. I might say that by the powers of by the power of my ancestors who were guiding me, spirit who is guiding me, something like that. I love the invisibility spells. They're so cool. I used to do invisibility visualizations for one of my high school teachers. She loved popcorn reading, and I'm an introvert. It worked quite a bit. Oh, good. Oh, hi, Theta. Sorry I'm late. Didn't get the notification. There probably was one, but the original live that I scheduled crashed. YouTube crashed. It literally said that, and I was doing it from my phone. I've been trying to come up with a spell to try and find info on certain topics. Yeah. So so you would say a search for something I must find. Of course, have it in your mind what what it is. And let's say you start with the book in front of you, but you can modify this. Maybe it's a Google search. Open up the space of time, bring the pages onto me. Instead of pages, bring the website onto me. Or bring the link, I don't know. By powers of my intuitiveness guiding me, the spirit guiding me, something like that. So that could work. That could work. I think I love that. By the way, if you want to know what we're doing right now, you kind of look in a book, a fiction book, and you take a little bit, or you watch a movie. That's the essence of pop culture. I'm working on. And this is where this will go in my pop culture book of shadows that I keep digitally on my iPad. I'm not really a digital person with that sort of stuff, but it's been fun because it's a lot of like images and direct quotes, and I take things from like articles or blog posts and I just paste it into my book of shadows on here, and it looks so cute and pretty. And plus I can by the way, once it's like that on an iPad, I could search very easily. I could tell Siri to find something for me. So it gets a little easier that way using some technology. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? The ley lines. Yeah. So this book, I said earlier in the beginning, if you're into like the concept of past lives, reincarnation, Not something you would think with a book based out of Scotland, right? But yeah. And then even talking about ley lines, and I mean, it gets to this area where it's really important on where the ley lines are in Scotland. I assume that where they're talking about is real. It got me to thinking about my own experience with ley lines and vortex. Here in Arizona, I'm happy enough, privileged enough to live near that sort of stuff. So for the summer solstice, me and my coven, we went to Sedona. We had our first ever retreat there. It was beautiful. Stayed in an over $1 million home in the mountains of Sedona. Like, magic was at work, y'all. And we performed our summer solstice ritual. We performed several rituals and spells when we were there that weekend. But I just want to say, like, this idea of like being in a space like that, in this case a vortex, I definitely felt it, and I wasn't alone. We all felt it. And also when I say we felt it energetically, almost physically. And then also, like, it's just different. Also, the results in our magic, the things that we walked away with, the things that we purchased from there, and that we cleansed there. It's we still talk about it. It's still a thing. Well, it was only June, but we still talk about it. It's still with us. It was kind of like life changing. Not kind of like, it was life changing. I look forward to going again. It was that impactful. I'm definitely trying to find more on storm magic. If I were to write a novel with witchcraft, I would definitely add spells that you can use, right? Stuff that you can. That's fun. And also, if it works, kudos. Well, guess what? I can take something from a book, and it's like bits of that, and that'll like inspire me. I was like, you know what? That's a good spell. I can make that into something. Or if I like the words that they use, I can do that as well. I do that with music, so. But the ley line, so they go in. Let me see. Under the picture, she had written. So this is a note that they're reading over in the book that they found, because they're trying to get to the bottom of the bigger picture in the book. So it says here, ley lines are straight alignments of earth energy that connect ancient sites. The most potent energy source for magic is here within the center of the connecting lines. So the character's looking at a drawing right now on a map. And they say, at this point, magic can be increased and spells can be amplified. I believe that's actually true. In order to obtain the energy from these points, you must go to them at dawn. Well, this is where it gets tricky, but I was staying in a place, so actually I was up at dawn. You go there at dawn as the sun begins to rise. Create an outdoor altar and ask for permission to use the lines as energy before performing the ritual you intend to execute. Once you have completed your spell, leave an offering to the goddess. They don't, just leave it open. There have been tales of wise people who have visited the ley lines and left with powers like the gods. Beware, only those of adequate magical training can withstand the direct energy from these lines and hold it within them. Trying to hold the energy without the proper knowledge can result in instant death. Well, of course we have to have the drama because it's a work of fiction, but like, don't you love that? Oh God, you mentioned you had a flat tire, and that live, in 2 days after that live, we had a flat. I meant to text you oh my gosh, yeah. Oh my God, the flat tire incident. That was just, you know what? When I tell you it was some magic at work, it was like the rawest. Like, it was almost something. There was just so many things. You couldn't call those coincidences. It wasn't just me. It was also the members of my coven. We all were experiencing these moments where it was just like, whoa. All different kinds of stuff was happening. But mine tended to be a little bit more in the dramatic with the flat tire thing. I got on my nerves. But it all worked out. It all worked out. And I got to stay another day in Sedona, and in this beautiful home that was like, it was absolutely stunning. The views, we were right there looking at where the people travel to go to this vortex. It's in my clear sight. It's right there. I'm up in the mountains looking at this. Like, this is something I'm looking at in the morning, all day, at night. and just drawing from that energy. Um, boy, yeah, that was a really magical time. And sorry you had a flat tire too, but that was so magical. If you have an opportunity to visit a place that people like, if you live someplace and people say, oh, this is known to be a place of, like, where the ley lines are, or this is a magical place, something happened here, go and just see what happens. Go and see. Go with the intention of kind of drawing energy. Maybe you take a stone or something and you want to code that energy. Maybe it's not directly into you at first. If you get into, but if you live nearby, you can go back again. I only live 2 hours when it's not crazy traffic from Sedona. Phoenix with us, like 2 hours. I haven't gone back yet. I plan to, but I just haven't gone back yet. I've been kind of just keeping at the home base for the most part. I've had people come to me, I've had visitors, so maybe that's why. I was like, why am I going any other place? Because people come to visit me here in Arizona. My family's on the East Coast, so I've already had some visitors, so that's why I haven't really gotten any place else. But so that's just the one thing. What was the other thing I wanted to tell you? Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you this part. So listen to this. This is just her in the middle of doing some magic. Goddess of the earth, wind, fire, and sea, help fuel my magic. Hear my plea to defeat the evil that plagues this land. Lend me your powers and guide my hand. Charge these objects, break through the veil, so light may fight darkness and prevail. I am a vessel for your powers. Help guide me till my final hours. Anyway, this is what I'm talking about. So this is what she said. She's at the she's reached the point where she's at the ley line, so she has her magical objects that need to be charged with that power. So she's both taking in some power, and she's going to charge her objects for this big showdown that's about to happen in the book. Let me tell you something. That's also very good. I could see using something like that. You can modify, but like if you're charging your tools. Oh, you got 2 new decks this week. What are these? You said Fairies Oracle deck. Okay, wait, do I have that? I think I have something like that. And Witches Throughout History, Grimoire, and Oracle. That sounds interesting. I will have to check that out. Thank you. But yeah, so I like those words. And here's another, just because the witchiness was just, I love, this is, as I'm reading this, I was like, the plot I'm in. So that, like, there's a bigger plot at play that's very interesting and entertaining and is gonna hold you. But then like this stuff is happening. So she recited a love charm her mother had taught her many centuries ago. Just another moment magic happening. As she spoke the incantation, she lit a small bundle of dried rosemary and knit the smoke around herself in a large spiral. So like, I guess, she did like this, right? Knit. From Fairy Glen, speaking of fairies, from Fairy Glen to Wishing Well, let luck pour on me from this spell. Bless me with good fortune free from earth and sky, so mote it be. Another simple charm. As I say about anything with witchcraft, magic, spells in particular, if you don't like the words, change them. Make it so that if you don't like genuinely speak like that and that doesn't make sense to you, it sounds like you're reading someone else's words, make modifications. But you can use this as a basis. Write it down, keep track of it so you can come back to it. But like, this is a great luck spell. If I played the lottery, if I'm competing for something, if I'm up for a job and I know I got competition, why not do a little luck charm? Do you want me to send you posts showing the decks on IG? Yes, please, thank you. But I didn't with these decks. I don't watch anybody's thing, anybody's videos with decks. Sometimes I'll see something there, like somebody will be advertising it. Usually there's something they're advertising. But the decks that I find, it's like sometimes I take a gamble because I just saw a cover. I didn't even see anything, especially if I'm looking online and I'm like, you know what, that looked like that might be cool. I let my intuition guide me. And I buy it. So far, so good. I have almost every Oracle deck, tarot deck that I purchase, I love. I don't just like it, I love them. However, there are some that I did not like the energy of those decks. Um, it was I could think of a few, and I really thought that was it. This is the answer. This is it. But you know what? Sometimes it matters. Not sometimes. It always matters who, like the person who created the decks, the artwork, and then who's the person writing the meanings. Even if you're not using that guidebook, I believe that that energy is coded into the cards. That's why this idea, this is just my opinion, this idea of, oh, I never look at the guidebooks, I'm just intuitively guided. And that's cool. I think with Oracle cards, that's really easy to do. And obviously, depending on the deck that you have for tarot, you could do that as well. However, I think you just really resonate with the intended, with what the author may have intended. And it just jives because there has to be a relationship. Well, you would hope there's a relationship between the illustrator and, the person who's writing the meaning for the cards, that they make sense. So when you're looking at it like that image and you're reading, like that all makes sense. Well, you're using your intuition, so you're already ahead. You got it. You don't, I get it. You might not really feel like you need the book because the image is just, it's right there for you to understand. And whatever psychic abilities you might have, that also guides you. But if you're using the cards, I'm thinking the energy, the intention of the author is coded in those cards as well. And for sometimes I just don't like it. Like I had these cards, I kept looking at them and I was like, once I had them in my hand and I opened the box up and I'm going through each one, there's one in particular and it was like based on Orishas. And I just knew those cards was going to be my favorite cards and they will probably be something I use forever. And they were just going to be it. And other people talked about these cards. Honey, I had to look up to see who, like I was so turned off by them. I looked to see who made those cards. And when I saw who the people were, I said, well, no wonder. No wonder. Sometimes people just in it for, they cash grab. Part collector, so art is important to me. Yeah. Sometimes I do just like the artwork. Now there are some cards that I have for novelty sakes. My Friends, the TV show Friends tarot deck. I've never used that in a reading. Maybe I would, and if for just the novelty purposes of it. And honestly, those cards I could look at because I've watched Friends so much. I get it. Like that's something I could work with, but and I have like the Hocus Pocus cards. I've never used those in a reading. The Halloween, I don't think it's Oracle. I think it's tarot deck. I gotta double check, but it's called the Halloween maybe it's Halloween Oracle. Anyway, I got those like a year or two ago. I've never actually done a reading, but those I think I might use. The Britney Spears tarot, I've never used those. I love them. I don't know, it feels funny using those for card readings, but if I was doing some glamour magic and I wanted to do a little divination in there, I could see using those cards. So I might think about that. Same thing with Hocus Pocus. If I was really trying to get my some hex and stuff on, I might use the Hocus Pocus ones. So yeah, y'all, I get the book. Get the book. If you are looking for like something that kind of takes you on a bit of a journey, there's a lot of like stuff in the past occurring. If you're looking for something that it's the witch just coming into her powers, but she's not like 18, she's an adult lady. But it's not your typical, oh my God, I'm a witch. There's so much more going on who, like, she's not who she thinks she is. I'll just say that. She's more than who she thinks she is. And like, come grappling with that. But you can't, eventually it's like, she's been Anyway, her true self was being bound. I'll just say that, intentionally. And there was a bigger plot point that's happening. Like I said, with an antagonist, and like there's history involved, and it's got all this other stuff, plus all these other little, and there's more witchy stuff happening, by the way, in spells that I didn't highlight. I just wanted to share some of that with you, and just like the general concept of like wolves. If you like wolves, that's in it too. Not like people turning into wolves, but actual wolves, and and like animal like magic, and like I said, symbol. Like there's a little bit of something. Sounds good. We need more books with main characters from 20 and older. I don't want teens. Yeah, I personally can't do young like YA fiction. I'm past, but once upon a time I could, as an adult person, I could read it, but like I'm past that point. Just just give me some girl, somebody at least the age of my daughter versus my son. I love my son though. Anyway, but yeah, I can't. Somebody like closer to 30, not closer to like 20 or 20. 19 going on 20. Like, can you be legal? Can you drink before we get into this book? I like my characters who can handle, because this character, she can handle a little whiskey. She's in Scotland, and that definitely piqued my interest. So she had a little wine. There's whiskey drinking going on. So it's grown. Everybody's grown. And I do wonder, of course, reading this, I'm like, well, I assume that's part of the culture, I guess. I don't know. And maybe everybody doesn't drink, but some people do. It's normal. So after you have a dinner, you sit around and you're talking and you have a whiskey. That, by the way, they're not mixing that whiskey. They're just drinking whiskey. Now, look, when in Rome, when in Scotland. So if in my future, when I get to visit, please know, I will remember this. There's some places I want to go because of the books that I've read. Botswana is one main place. Oh my gosh. #1 lady detective agency. I talked about this recently. I, to this day, still want to go to Botswana because of that book. I don't care I want to see it with my own eyes. I want to smell the air, touch the ground, see the people. I want that experience real bad. This is now on my list. I cannot wait to go to Scotland. And Greece is another one. I can't remember what book I was reading. Oh my gosh, it was something, or maybe it was a movie. Italy for sure was a place I definitely wanted to see. I want to go to because of movies that I saw. It was a movie. I was obsessed with New England because of quite a few books that I read when I was much younger. And they weren't all witchy, but yeah, I really wanted to live there. I lived in New Haven, Connecticut, by the way, so I got to do that. I didn't do Massachusetts yet, but I want to go to Salem soon. That's another place. I come all the way on the West Coast just to want to go. I had access. I was right there in Connecticut. I could have easily went, but I never went. There was always something going on. I went to New York. I would hang out in New York, but I didn't go to Massachusetts when I lived there. Your complexion is so pretty. I think it's natural, not glamour magic. I love the red nails. Thank you. Well, we coming into the time of year where I want to give it, and it's got, I don't know if it comes to it, but it's like sparkles on it as well. So it's like in person, you can see it's like a little bit of sparkles. So I'm thinking like vampy red. So thank you, because I like that. I was thinking, what color do I want? Orange? No, it's either going to be red or black, I think, with me, or like some deep pinkish color. But yeah, I was thinking like vampy nails. It is in that coffin shape too. So thank you for noticing, and thank you about the skin. I appreciate it. I mean, a little glamour here, a little magic potion here or there, but it's me. Thank you. But yeah, I can't wait to visit these places because of these books. I really enjoyed this book. Like, I love the cover art. Like, look at this. The cover art on this book is so pretty. Definitely one I'm wrapping up, and I'm going to talk about it along with a nonfiction book next time, and probably some little stuff I'm going to have because I need to do an order. I'm running low on some supplies. But the other book that is Where'd it go? How to Fake Date a Vampire is the other one. Yeah, I don't know why this is not picking that up. But yeah, How to Fake Date a Vampire. That's the other one that I'm reading. It's by the same author of The Modern Girl's Guide to Magic, which I talked about. Another really good book as well, really cute. Yeah, let me hold this up for you so you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm halfway through the book. Like on chapter 13. Why can't I get her fast enough? I'm going to show you what it looks like by Lindsay Hall. How to Fake Date a Vampire. This is a cute one. I'm halfway through the book. I kind of like the first one better. That's all I'm going to say. I like it, but I like the other one better. Hi, Tiger, Lily. Hello. But I kind of like them so far. I'm just saying, I'm halfway through. I like it. It's another book, but I'll talk about this one because I'm only halfway through. I'll get into it. But like I said, I'm gonna have the nonfiction book, and like I said, probably some stuff because I realized I am getting low on like candles, like my chime candles for different colors. I went to go do some work recently, and I realized I didn't have some of the stuff that I wanted. I got some stuff going on over here right now too. I'm going to read Frankenstein, but using audio off of YouTube because the language in it was hard to understand and read. Audiobooks are really cool. I don't listen to them enough because I don't know. I think the older I get, I struggle with I need to slow down. Like you would think, oh, you should probably slow down more. No, the way my brain works, I will think I can do other things. And next thing you know, I'm like on my computer, I'm on my phone listening to an audiobook. It's hard. Like I can't just sit there and just listen. But with a book, I have no choice but to sit and read. I can't be looking at something else. I can only be looking at there. I'll get distracted is my point. I was watching Ariel Gatoga and you came up. So here I am. Oh, well, hello. I don't know who Ariel Gatoga is, but hello. Wait, I came up how? Like in YouTube or with the person? Who is Ariel Gatoga? I gotta look who that is. I'm sorry, I'm getting turned around. One thing I want to talk about, I don't know if anybody had a chance to see my most recent video for this week. My first unboxing of the Witch's Root box, which by the way is really nice subscription. It's my first one. I've never ordered from them before. The only witchy subscription box I had before was Goddess Provisions, which by the way, did y'all hear? They're ending it. They're just gonna go. I mean, they're not ending being able to sell stuff, but they're not doing a subscription box with new stuff every month anymore. So that's happening. I saw that with my own eyes on their Instagram because I still follow them even though I stopped the subscription. So they'll make it so that you can buy previous stuff that they were selling. So if there was stuff that you saw and you never got the subscription, but you wanted maybe something that people got in their box, now's your chance. You'll be able to do that. And then they said the way they left the message was like more to come, who knows, we're changing things up. So people in the comments on that Instagram post were saying, oh, they'll probably go quarterly like a lot of other places. I don't know. But I thought out of all the subscription boxes that Goddess Provision to me was like creme de la creme. They were on top with like the stuff that they sent you. It was top tier. You felt like you were getting quality things. And those boxes were only like $30 a month, at least when I was doing it. Ariel Gatoga and oh, that's something else. I got some money from my mom. And same is being saved and some is going to be spent. I bought about 160. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. You bought some books, some candles, Fantasia crystals. I still have got to go there. I have so many more books to buy. Well, you know what? In my other line of work I'm in, I deal a little bit with what you're talking about. I'll just say that. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. Once you've taken care of the business and responsibilities, You know, they left that money for you to enjoy, and I'm glad you're able to enjoy it. So Tiger Lily says he is okay. So Ariel, he's well, he is well a strong spirit, and he was doing tarot readings, and you were in YouTube list. So I don't know why, but I wanted to watch you. Oh, okay, thank you. I get you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay, cool. Yeah, don't you love when things like that happen? Well, I'm glad you're watching me. I'm glad you came just in time. So I created, and this is laminated because I laminated, but I created a grimoire book, a Cottage Witch grimoire. So it's a blank book because I am someone who is passionate. If you watch this channel about paper planning, grimoires, magical record keeping, like I talk about it all the time, I want to show you all the time. So coming very soon, and I'll let everyone know when, because this is not the only thing, but this is just the one thing that I've printed out. And this is like a happy planner cover that I have it in, and this is the back. So basically they're going to be printables or, you know, downloads of prints. So it's the cover page that I've designed, and there's 3 sets of blank paper. One of them is like this ivory color, has this beautiful symbol on top. The other is like a grid paper, and the other is lined paper. So this is something, and I'll be showing videos on like how I'm using my personal one to keep track. You can use this sort of as just a notebook if you want. You can bound it, you can put it on disc, you can put it in a binder, however you want to choose to do it. But I'm gonna have a bunch of these up, and drum roll, my own personal planner. So I showed actually a sneak peek of my sort of prototype that I've created. I know I'm not the type of person with planners who, I love the happy planner style. I've really been getting away from that because it really doesn't fit my needs. And then I'm using a goals planner, and that's kind of more of what I like. And it got me to thinking about, well, what do I want? I've kind of come up to something that I think makes sense as a practicing witch, by the way, as someone who does magical work, and you know, or you do your full moon intentions and new moon intentions and all that sort of stuff, and you want to record that in your planner. So I've created something. Now there's not a lot of it's going to be printable, so just you'll print it and you'll be able to you know, really do as you will. I'm taking a page out of what I liked about Happy Planner and other planners like that, where it's relatively just blank, but you know, you have spaces to use as you see fit. So that's basically what I did. And then you got the drums, thank you. But yeah, that's what I did. So that is coming very, very soon. So that should be up and ready to go by next weekend. So I've already made sure at leaptaking.com that I can put the files there, that they line up correctly. I just have to put some finishing touches on and some other stuff that as well. So it's available and ready to go. But I'm really excited about this. And they're going to be, you know, they're printables, kind of something akin to what if you went to Etsy. I'm somebody who would go to Etsy, so very similar pricing, nothing crazy. But I just love my cover. I love my cover so much. So it's a Cottage Witch grimoire. Why is it called that? Because I'm a cottage witch. And I want you to be one too. No, anyway, but this is it. So this is the cover art. And then and this is going to be called the Cottage in the Wild. That's what it's called, by the way. And I have a laminator, so I laminated the first page. But it doesn't have, you don't have to have like a notebook. You can just, you know, have it like this and laminate your own page. And then, you know, you have your plain notebooks. So the video, there will be a video soon showing, thank you, Cottage Witch in the Wild, yeah. Showing like the ways I'm using it. Hopefully it'll give examples to you on how you can turn these pages into your own personal grimoire. Or if you've ever heard of a commonplace notebook or commonplace journal, it's like, let's say you're reading a book, a fiction or a nonfiction book, right? On something witchy, and you're reading and you're like, you know, I want to make note of a lot of this. And you don't always want to highlight in the book, because once you're done with the book, you put it on your shelf, or you put the book away and you don't have access to that information. So a commonplace book is great notebook because you can write details. You can take a picture of what you saw in the book or scan it, print it and paste it onto the page. And you can draw your notes and, imagery or whatever else that you want to put. And let's say that was just one source. So there was another source that you saw some information on the same subject and you want to keep it someplace in one place, in one notebook. You can use it for that purpose as well. There's a number of different things, or you could honestly just use it as a blank notebook. And let's say you just like something that looks really witchy and that's just your regular notebook and you're writing your shopping list on there. You can do that too. However you see fit. You love a commonplace book. Yeah, that's kind of my point too, with that, using that. So there'll be other designs as well, but this is the first one. This is the one I'm really excited about. I love that cover art. So anyway, but that is coming. Like I said, that should be up next weekend along with the planner. And I showed a sneak peek of what the cover looks like for the planner. And I'm using like browns and golds for the most part. I didn't want to do black and white because that's boring and everybody else does black and white. So I wanted to do something different. So just to give you an idea of where my rationale is why I didn't use safe colors. I don't want to do that. That's not fun to me. But yeah, did you know that that some commonplace books used to be published for the masses? No, I did not know that. Thank you. That's okay. Oh, what did you say about Fantasia Crystals move locations in June? You did say something like that, but they're still in Phoenix. I gotta go find this place. I need to go and find. I don't need any more crystals. Let's just be clear. But I would like some more crystals. When I was in Sedona, I purchased several crystals, and it was part of the ritual I did with my coven. So I was there. I brought these crystals, but I was like, I'm here, and I was like, this intuition came over. This makes better sense. So I purchased the crystals, right? Everybody has their crystal. Guess who lost hers, and I still don't have it. I am really concerned about this because I don't know where it is. I don't know where my crystal is, and it was my key, and I feel like it's gonna reappear. I know I didn't leave it. I remember having it on my body. Like I had a pair of cargo pants on. I put it in one of the pockets. So of course I checked my laundry. It wasn't there. I checked the washing machine. I checked the dryer. It's not there. So I was like, I checked the car. It wasn't there. My car was towed, unless but the tow person wasn't in the car. They just attached it. Nobody was physically in my car. So I don't know where this crystal is. Everything else I purchased came back with me, but that crystal is missing, and I do find that suspicious. And I feel like it's gonna show up when I really need it. Like it's gonna come to me. Very witchy. No, you can't have enough crystals. Finding, locating spell. You would think. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you what I did do, because I came back and I felt like things was kind of. I felt like, I'll just say this, I work with other elemental type energy. I've mentioned that. I'm a cottage witch, and I use those, I say house spirits as well. I know that crystal made it into my home. I know that. I just don't know where it is. So, or car. So I'm going to count the car on the property as home. So I I said, let me appease the fae folk. Because, if I don't, things like this happen. Like, shiny things go missing. I can't find my other pair of glasses right now. That's a whole other thing. I'm beginning to really think there's... And I know I was sick. I was out. And I feel like I haven't, been, like one of my plants. It looks like it's really suffering. And I said, that's strange. I just looked at this plant. Like, that happened that quickly. So like things like that. And I said, okay, I need to I need to basically continue to do the work that I normally do which is balancing the energy in my home, kind of feeding that. It's like a symbiotic thing, and it helps me in my witchcraft. And there's some things that I need to do that I haven't done. So I had a house guest prior to, so I didn't do anything. Then I got sick and I didn't do anything. So that's been weeks. So I'm thinking the spirits are telling me something, but I tried to appease them, is my point, and it still hasn't shown up. So I may do a locator spell shortly to find it. You said they took it for themselves. Yeah. You know, a lot of people are like, no, you probably just misplaced it. It's probably something like that. And I'm like, y'all, I can't express to you enough how, like, it is always, you can tell there's something supernatural going on. It is not, when stuff like that happens, shiny things go missing, it's usually some sort of other influence happening. Almost always. Yeah, I'm capable of just misplacing something, putting something down, but like my glasses, I've had my daughter on the search. She can't find it either. I told you I'm a homebody, so it's not like I left them someplace. They were here, so I don't know. I take it as a sign. It's time to go get another new pair. I was ready for a new pair. These are, I think I've had these for about a year, and I want to go get another pair. I like my glasses to kind of come out a little bit more, like a more cat eye. I like this style too, but I kind of like that. And to me, I just feel like that's the universe saying, go ahead and go get your glasses. Because you can't find it. On the other ones, they are the thing where it turns, like when you go outside and it's instantly sunglasses. That's why I like those. But they have some kind of scratches that are permanent. Anyway, I need to go with some new glasses. That's where I'm going with that. I feel like maybe the house spirits are conspiring. Like, girl, you need to see better. Go get those other glasses. You don't need those anymore. It's time to upgrade. But on that note, I will end it here. We lost it, forgot it. But then the spiritual realm thinking comes after that. Yeah, yeah. No, that crystal specifically, no, there is some funny business going on with that. I know where I put it. I kept checking the whole time because I didn't want to leave it in Sedona. So I know I left with it. But after that, I don't know. I don't know. Something else is going on. So, yeah. So my house, to end with, my house wants me to do more magic. Because, by the way, when I say balance out, it's not just like saging and cleansing. Yeah, that's part of it. But the relationship I have in my home as a cottage witch with house spirits is to do more magic. Is to do magic, do spells, do rituals. And not rituals necessarily because I'm trying to get something, or like spells to do. Like, how do I say this? Like magic for the sake of magic. For instance, putting on a simmer pot. Casting and saying a charm over that sort of stuff. Marking sigils around the house, reinforcing crystals, because I have crystals all over the house that has certain intention, again, just to keep, for lack of better words, the vibe going in my home, which is for peace. That's something I've worked very hard on, is to have a very peaceful home, peace-filled home. And I've achieved that. So I'd like to maintain that. Because my home is my sanctuary. The decor pieces, everything from the cutesy store-bought items to the stuff that, like that painting that I have. Yeah, here. I painted that myself. I am by no means no professional painter, but to me that looks really awesome. And every time I see it, it brings about a sense of pride. And I keep that over my altar, because why wouldn't you do that, right? Something that makes you feel confident and filled with a sense of pride, and something that started here. So you visually saw something, and then it had to come here, and then it came out. That's magic. And that's like a literal physical presentation of what I can do. So stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff when I say I have in my home as a cottage witch, with my cottage decor, you know, my projects, the things that I made. I'm trying to just pick random stuff here. Like I made my flower crown, you know, stuff like this I keep on my altar. Any of my little crafts I made, this as well. This is actually store-bought with these, and then I added other crystals to it as well. That's when I do psychic work and things like that. So all kinds of stuff. This is just on my altar, but like these things have real meaning to me. Even that little cute poster in the back of me has meaning to me. That's by the way, if you're familiar, these are like the avatars or cartoons from BTS, the K-pop group, and the reason I am such a big fan, quite frankly, I started with BTS because I had been going. I already shared, I was going through some serious life changes. Separating from, I was married for quite some time and separating. And I had heard these songs before because my daughter is my K-pop plug. So I have heard a lot of the music, but it was always just playing. I never really listened. And then I'm not like, when I mean I didn't listen, I didn't realize that not everything they're speaking is in their own language. Some of it's actually in English. So one day I think I was getting ready and I just had a playlist going. And like I'm getting dressed, I'm getting ready. So like I got the shower going and music's playing. And I was like, damn, this song is nice. And I'm just listening, so, it started with that song and I'm really listening. And then I did the thing that once you're a serious K-pop fan, you look up the lyrics. And I look up the lyrics. And I was like, oh, that's deep. Like that's deeper than I realized. Next thing I know, I'm listening to this album and I'm listening to it like a lot. And I'm listening to almost every song, almost, because there was a couple I didn't like that much. And I'm listening to almost every song on the album. And it's changing my mood and my emotions. And I'm not, please know, I mean this like for real, like it's changing my mood. Something's happening, some rewiring is occurring the more I listen. So then I start watching the videos on YouTube and I started watching concert performances because I'm a girl who loves live music. I've always, honestly, any type of genre, I'm there. So I started listening more and more. And I'm picking up on the members' personalities. It's not just the songs anymore. Now I'm understanding who these people are. And that just spread. And now I have other groups that I really, really am into, like really into. And I listen to, honestly, I probably listen to K-pop almost exclusively. So if I put the aux cord in, that's what you're getting. And I have a healthy play. I say healthy because it's a variation. It's not just one. K-pop is kind of like the overarching umbrella, but there's different sounds and genres. There's like kind of R&B, there's jazzy stuff right now, and there's somebody doing like a jazzy thing. Then you have more of a hip hop thing. Then you have like a rock element, and then stuff they call like noise music. I know I'm going on a tangent. Anyway, but they have all that going on. But there are some songs that are just fun and silly and they're great for escaping. And then there are some songs that I'm just like, oh, for instance, I know you may, if you listen to the radio, because some of this music has made it to American radio stations. Jimin, 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 he set me free. Like I just told y'all, we went through a separation, right? So a song called Set Me Free in the process, like going through that, that song did something also for me as well. Yeah, and it was, that music was a big part of my healing journey. That's why I don't take the idea of listening to music lightly and eat lyrics lightly. And I use actually some of the music in my spells because a lot of it really sounds to me almost like manifesting music. So yeah, let me catch up on this. You said poorhouse. Oh, your spirit is beautiful. It shows. I think, are you me? Thank you. Maybe the daily mindfulness of magic, Promethea. Oh yeah, thank you. I did my first firewall of protection candle spell the other day. Okay, that's good. I love your name too, Promethea. I love that name a lot. I like your name. Your favorite comic book, Promethea from the Alan Moore. Oh, okay. And Tiger Lily says they are an incredibly talented group of young guys who work well together and they have message, especially to their own Korean culture. I dislike the K-pop's term too simplistic. Exactly. Like sometimes people think, oh, so it's like pop music. It's like, yeah, that's what it's just pop. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, it's not. I love the K-pop tangent. Thank you. Baby Metal, Give Me Chocolate. Music Mancy, yes. Yes. Right now, if just like ATEEZ right now, okay, have you listened to ATEEZ Gorilla? If you are on some because right, it's a whole theme. That's the thing. They'll make an album that has an overarching theme, and sometimes each album continues, like it keeps escalating the theme or keeps moving forward. But like it's like this dystopia thing, and I feel like the world is giving very dystopian right now, and like you feel like like you're going against the powers that be. You're rising up. So if you were gonna do some if you need to get some stuff done, let's say some maybe it's not personal, maybe it's political, or you feel like your rights are being infringed on, or you feel like your quality of life is being threatened, capitalism, everything. But you have targets in mind, and you play that song by ATEEZ Gorilla. You cannot tell me. At one point at the end of the song, the chant in the song is "Break the wall, break the wall." Like it's, oh my God! I heard someone, or I saw somebody's footage when ATEEZ went to Brazil and at their concert, right? And you heard okay. So I saw different angles, but someone was outside of the stadium. So you see in the stadium, and you hear thousands of people screaming, "Break the wall!" And I'm like, oh my God! I would have probably been because I cry when I get overwhelmed with feelings, but I would have like lost it. And I plan on going actually. ENHYPEN is another group I like. They do like a theme of vampires right now, and y'all, vampires. That's a spiritual meaning and all that about sucking energy. It's not always a negative thing. I'm just saying. So I'll be at that concert for sure. They're coming to Phoenix. Like this is actually happening. I think in like another month or two. So I will definitely be going there. About 10 years ago, I really liked. 2NE. I don't know who that is because I'm not that into far along song. I'm the Best. They were my first ever K-pop group I ever heard. Yeah. I have been exposed. Let me tell you, way back when my daughter kept trying, she was like, you might like this song, and she would play, and I'd be like, okay. And she would be like, why you gotta be like that? And this was an ongoing thing where she'd be like, do you want to hear this song? And I'd be like, sure. And we're in the car, and I'm like, okay, that's nice. And I would never listen to it again. Something about the beats, it wasn't just beat, first of all. I don't even know what it was. I'm trying to think which, Black Swan. So this would have been like 2019 that this really started for me. And I've like organically grown into this. It wasn't like all at once. It's like bit by bit and then a little bit more. And initially I was just listening to one album. And then my daughter was like, if you like this, I got something else for you that you might like. And then I went way back to the beginning. And then I just went on this quest to just watch the evolution of them. They are really cringy in the beginning. I'm going to tell you right now. They were cringy, but they grew up and they've never done that again because prime example, RM of BTS, right? Namjoon, he had a little curly perm situation to mimic Afro type hair, and in one of the videos, they're very young in the beginning, and what we do know is, and he's addressed this, is that you're in this other country, you're presented with this imagery, and you really like it. And you like what you hear, and you like what you see by these other people. You love it, right? And you want to be like that. And there's no one there because you're not in that world. You just see it. You're having experience from it, and you love it so much. But there's no one there to tell you, yeah, you might not want to mimic that because of the deep racial issues in America that happens to black people, and how they are, mimicked, and it's out of disrespect, blah, blah, blah. And maybe you don't want to mimic them and kind of like put on like a blackface type thing. He didn't do a blackface, y'all, but my point is, and then he would learn, and then he never did it again. And that's called growth. You said they, yes, I listened to them. Okay. Come Back Home, my freaking favorite. Oh, now I gotta go look this up. Broke up, I think 5 or 7 years ago, if I remember. You said she was your drug dealer, but for music, yeah. Yeah. She came back. She went to y'all know there was a conference in LA. That's how I got COVID, by the way. I'm pretty sure from her going and bringing it to me. But anyway, so there was like a K-Con, I think they call it, and or K-pop con. Is it K-Con or K? I don't remember. Anyway, so that happened in LA. So she went, and there's merch and stuff that you buy. So she they were selling, which she had previously went to LA the year before for Stray Kids, another group who I love also. She went to see them in concert for the Maniac tour, right? It's the name of the album, Maniac. So she came back, she said, I got the DVDs, and we're so excited. She was like, wait, do we have a DVD player? I was like, we don't own a DVD player. But then I remember we had a Blu-ray. I was like, Blu-ray plays DVDs, so we could do that. And she's like, where is it? I was like, because we don't watch that. So I set up my TV stand as a place to hold all my tarot and oracle because I had all this shelving. So anyway, it was behind that because that's just how much we don't use a Blu-ray player here. So anyway, so we moved the cards out the way. She pulls it out. We couldn't find a remote. That is a whole other box. I did eventually find it like days later after she orders a universal remote off of Amazon. Anyway, so we get the thing going. So I'm finally watching it. And it's three DVDs. I've only gotten a chance to really see one. So I'm going to go back from the beginning and watch it again. I actually, if you follow Leak Taken on TikTok, I actually posted it. When with my phone and when I do it, it looks like I'm in concert. Like it's so cool. But anyway, and it was their little rock segment because I like all types of music. Like I really do actually like country music. I went through a whole country music thing. Anyway, so I really like country music. I love rock. I grew up in, the 90s as an adult, kind of like, grunge, a little bit of heavy metal too sometimes. Like, and I could do, there are times I'm an Aries, y'all. The rage comes up. I kind of need that. I gotta let it out because somebody might get hurt. So yeah, I do heavy metal, rap, R&B and all that. I don't really like the R&B that's coming out right now. It's giving F-boy energy, and I don't really want to deal with F-boys, and I don't want to hear about your plight and your problems. Like, I'm thinking like SZA and, what's that other girl? I can't remember her name. The one Summer Walker. I'm just not feeling their music. I love their voices. I'm just not liking the lyrics. I just feel like it's low vibrational for me. Like, I don't want to be there, and Ari needs metal. Exactly. I can't do right now where I'm at. Like, it's not that everything has to be rainbows and roses, but I can't do these unnecessarily complicated relationships because if someone was, by the way, that's why I don't do any kind of love readings well, if I do, if you've ever watched me, no, I'm going to tell it to you straight. I'm not going to tell you my opinion. I'm not going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you from my intuition and from what Spirit is saying. And if you're asking, and that's how I'll preface it, if you are asking 9.5 out of 10, you already know the answer, and you already know this is not what you want. This is not what you require. This is not what you desire, and this is not what you even really see for yourself that you've never saw. but you want somebody to tell you something different so you can continue to endure. But see, that's the type of person in which that I am. I'm going to tell you that. Unless you want to hear that, don't come to me about that. Don't come to me about that, because I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm not trying to be hateful or mean or spiteful. It's just like, because remember if you, what year was this? I'm trying to get it straight. I think it was 2020, I think. Was this when COVID happened or after? I can't get these years, 2020, 2021, and 2022 run into each other a little bit for me. But I think it was 2021 where here in Phoenix, and I think she's in Phoenix or in Tempe. Anyway, I went to this reader. I don't go to readers usually. I read for myself. Or honestly, I have people in my life who can read for me, and we just do that for each other. So it's not like a money exchange or anything, right? So I go, my daughter is one of the main people, because I'm a witch, and I've been training her since she was a little kid. So she knows how to read cards. When she goes out with her friends and events, she reads for others as well. Although she would never tell you she's a reader. That's the irony. So anyway, I go to this reader. I'm going to give you all a little bit more information. A little bit more detail. Then I'm going to wrap this up. So I go to her. I've shared this reading before. She told me a lot of things. She was telling me about a curse with my family and all this sort of stuff. And I'm listening now. And I got a little suspicious when she was like, we could do a ritual for you. But she, and that's why I was like, you're about to hit me with the cost. She did. But before we got to that part, she also gave me a lot of important information and reaffirming information. I've shared. She said, Oshun walks with you. I know you're not initiated, but she walks with you. She does. She has come to me in the spirit realm. I have had connection. I don't talk about that all the time here because people are weird about that. But she has come to me. I have an altar for that, for her as well. Have had it for years. Never mentioned it. Don't really talk about it. Okay. So that was something, she had my attention. But the one thing I never share with you guys, because why would I share this at the time, is that she said, she said about your relationship or your marriage or whatever you're in, it's not changing. It will never change. It's going to be what it is. That's what she said to me. I wrote down what she said. So I was able to confirm this. And she said, if you're looking for something to happen, if you're looking for spirit to enter, it's not, this is how it is if you stay. So I didn't share that. So I didn't stay, but anyway, and things are very different. But anyway, she told me that. So that was something, that's why I truly believed in, like, I wasn't there to talk. Actually, I wasn't there. I never told her why I wanted the reading. It was just a general reading. So like, she's hitting everything, and she's telling me some other stuff too. So like, that was really deep at the time. And she said a little bit more than that. I wrote it down. It wasn't just because come on, you could say that to anybody, right? And that could be good or bad. So I'm a reader. I get if you're saying kind of filler words that could be taken any sort of way. Not that I do that, but I try to avoid doing that and try to get as specific as I can. But no, it was a little bit more to that too. No, she knew, she highlighted in a way where it was negative. Like, the negative thing isn't going to change. Yeah, so she got a little bit more specific. So I was just like, whoa. Now, mind you, I'm in this reading, and my daughter's a few feet away from me because we both did it together. And I'm like, right. And actually, I didn't even know. I made it intentional. I kind of kept my face like neutral, like, okay. Because more importantly, I wanted to receive. I didn't want to be reacting to every little thing because I wanted to receive this information as well. But anyway, yeah, that's something that happened as well with that. And I've kind of kept track of some of the stuff that she said because I think it does, yeah, it manifested. I'll just say that. My best friend is obsessed with K-pop, anime, and other Asian things. I'm not into anime though. I want to be so bad. It just goes over my head. And I haven't tried again. I want to be a gamer girl so bad. I keep trying. My son was like he's 23. So I say to him, I was like, yeah, so I want to go ahead and get back into gaming. He said, when were you into it? I was like, damn, that hurt. I've been fighting. Do you not remember World of Warcraft those days? Do you not remember the Star Trek? And do you not remember me sitting up here playing, for real? And he's like, I mean, you dabble, but you never really were into it. I was like, okay, whatever. So, all this to say, I'm getting a Switch because I want to get into some cute, cozy games. I don't know. I don't play the type of games that he plays, where it's like these worlds that are I need to go back to school to understand how to freaking play and know what's happening. I don't want to I don't have the capacity for that right now. So no, he's right. All right, let me catch up and then I'm gonna wrap up. Dylan, you said the other day I made some IG story posts about how a soul. I don't see your stuff. I would support you and like your stuff. I don't see your stuff. It never shows up for me. So genres, and I share 2 metal songs, no doubt. I hope you dance in another song or 2. Cool. Oh, you said you remember the story? Okay. You want to switch too? Yeah, I want that. They all have it. My adult children, oh no, they purchased their Switches because they live different. They already got it. I could have had it. I just didn't get it. And I said I would get it, so I downloaded a game and I played on my iPad and the phone. But it's not the same. It's not the same. I want the Switch. I actually want a game console. We always had a game console in this house because I'm in a house with the people who play games. When it was the whole family. But we don't have them anymore because I need to know I'm playing a game before I invest hundreds of dollars into a game console. Let's just say that. And that's right. My son reminded me of that too. He was like, I was going to get a gaming computer because, I would like to play some games on the computer. He's like, he said, maybe you want to stay away from that because technology changes. Sometimes you can't still play the game. You do. I said, no, because you would stream it anyway, even through on a computer because I already downloaded some stuff. And he's like, no. He's basically trying to sway me from doing the gaming computer and investing in that and just getting a console and just doing it that way. But I've never been one with the remote in a TV type person. Computer keyboard, that's where my gaming would occur. Why am I on this topic? So I'm going to wrap up. I need to go get some supplies that I'll share with y'all next week. I need to go do some witchy shopping. I'm out of candles. There's some witchy stores that I found. So I might hit some of those up, just do a little wrap around. And then regular stores to get some other candles. I need different colored candles and stuff like that. And some herbs and things like that. That's more I find herbs I can get your regular grocery supermarket, but I like more of what I guess people call ethnic stores, and there's quite a few around the Phoenix area, so I like to get stuff from there. So I think I'm gonna do a little shopping. So thank y'all for coming here. Sorry about the mix up with the live, YouTube crashed and I had to start a whole different live, but thank you for coming and talking and communicating, and I miss doing this. I look forward to Saturdays and sharing stuff and reading books or showing products and telling y'all about it, and I'm glad that y'all like hearing it. So I'll keep doing it. So I'll be back with some book reviews next week. I'm picking up another non-fiction book and some couple items and stuff like that, and hopefully by then I will have launched the Cottage Witch Grimoire, Cottage Witch in the Wild, and the Planner, and you would have seen that, and hopefully you guys like that too. All right, I'm out of here. Bye. Oh, hit like, subscribe, and all that stuff too. All right, bye.